It's an illusion that the conscious mind is responsible for making things happen. Even though we're kind of driving from the level of the conscious mind is the experiencer of life. It is the dreamer. It is the point from where we come up with a lot of our, I would say we process a lot of our creativity and intelligence, and we interface with the relative, but it's not the responsible party. The responsible party is the field of pure consciousness, is the divine self, because that's the level of the self that can see out through the whole creation and knows how to put all the pieces together, like all the little tiny sequential steps needed to make great things happen. Like just getting you at the right place at the right time, so you bump into someone, it just happens to be the person that just happens to have the resource that you just happen to have needed to connect with at that time, that sort of thing. That's not something the conscious mind can do. That's only something that can be done on the level of being. So all this processing of an idea or a wish or a desire goes on in the conscious level of mind. And when it gets down to a really deep level, what happens is we're experiencing the desire like a hum or a mode of being, a hum or a mode of expression of the self. It's not out on a mental word level thinking the thought, I want to go to the beach. It is down at that deep, deep level where you're just there. It's just you are essentially at the beach. And if the beach is utterly impossible, at that point where there's a will, there's a way. If the system has been set up for that, somehow whatever it was that you were supposed to get out of the beach is going to be what will come. And so the important part of this process is letting the desire go back into the absolute, because when it falls back onto your divine self, the divine self takes it and goes and says, okay, that's great. I see this one is flagged with lots of great, powerful emotional content. And, you know, my being really wants this thing. And then it tweaks it to align with the course of the evolution of the soul over billions of years. So whatever little adjustments, fine adjustments or modifications need to be made, get made at the level of the divine self. And then the whole thing comes back in through the physical body. The physical body is the antenna of the divine intelligence. So we know that our bodies are very sensitive to things that take the mind a little bit longer to pick up on. For instance, if you go into a place where there's a virus or some emission of pheromones or all kinds of different things, you know, even the body is very sensitive down to the point of really knowing what's happening with the other physiologies in the group. And so wherever you are, and that level of intelligence is part of the beauty and the wisdom and the brilliance of the physical body, that it becomes the holder of divine intelligence in its purest form when it first arrives. It comes in like a wave of energy through the head. We've done this in our sessions, right, where we get a download. And right now we'll just go ahead and check in with everybody's physiologies. It's a good time for a download, isn't it? Oh, beautiful. So this download is a communication of intelligence from the divine self, which is integrative and connecting the capabilities of the body to sensitively pick up on divine intention, divine cognition, in such a way as I'm just seeing I'm seeing a raising of the energy frequencies in everybody's physical bodies. It's really super beautiful, and it's still going up. The energy frequencies are still rising. The physiology and the divine self knowing themselves as one self, as one being, no separation, zero difference, zero separation. And it's interesting, I would like everyone to notice while this download is coming on, how awareness can feel into the body. You know, because of the nature of Western culture, generally, most people tend to focus their attention more in the conscious mind level of themselves. Some people have even trained themselves to be very somewhat insensitive to the intelligence of the body. And as we know, being able to experience the source of creation is something that requires the willingness, at least, to do that. The intention to do it requires some focus. But everybody's got that conscious mind. So what happens is with this download is we're switching the balance just a little bit to create a nice, round, even balance between the physical body, the source of creation, and the conscious mind in the middle, so that it's all integrated and it's equally honored from the level of awareness. And we know that the definition, basically my definition of energy work, is the intelligent direction of attention in order to activate healing transformation in any specific area of the being. So what we're doing is we're balancing, so download to balance. And in this state, we know that there are loops of consciousness that are constantly flushing around into every little particle of creation. Every little particle is looping around and around and around, folding back on myself. I create again and again. It's infinite looping. But within that loop, one can shift attention ever so within the loop of the self, from the divine self to the physical body to the conscious mind. We can shift our attention ever so slightly to favor any one of these three parts. This is my part of today's offering, is to give you these tools to be more flexible and autonomous in the manifesting process. And one of those tools is to be able to choose, be aware that it can be done, and choose to shift awareness ever so slightly from one aspect of this cycle to another. Because this is the manifesting process. You know, it comes from the divine, it goes up to the physical body, comes in as like a shower of light, a shower of divine wisdom into the physical body. And we often feel that, like that kind of nice tingling light that comes into the crown of the head, all just thick with knowingness, thick with cognition. And that never ends. That is a permanent relationship. This flow of divine intelligence, this cognition, divine cognition into the physical form. But knowing that it's happening supports transformation in the physical body, increased neuroplasticity, increased stability, to allow each of us to live in a state where those flows of divine cognition never end. Never end. And you know it. You can feel it anytime you need that wisdom, any piece of wisdom, any piece of knowledge. It's just there for you. You're so beautiful and you so deserve that.